Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Ah.
Yeah, good morning. It is
Morning, and
Wednesday.
welcome to Scout Team in the Morning. This is one of your
Who
hosts,
is this?
the Golden Ghost. Say what?
Anybody ever heard of this Golden Ghost?
Hey, dude, you can't stop my intro like that. What's wrong with you, bro?
What are you doing? Go
New
ahead,
number,
Golden
who dis?
Ghost.
New number, who dis?
Dude, you gotta stop.
Hold
that,
on,
man.
everybody, real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong button. One more.
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Dude, don't stop my intro like that next time. Come
All
on,
right,
buddy.
go ahead, Golden Ghost. Give us the
No,
intro.
I'm good. The thrill is gone now. It's gone. It's just gone. It's too early
Well-
in the morning, man.
It's the Scout Team. We are here bringing it hot on this Wednesday, October 10th. Oh, man. I'm excited to be here. Lots of stuff to talk about. And the fact that the Golden Ghost is on brings me extra joy, and I'm excited about that. I am one of your hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
And one of the other gentlemen on the other side of the microphone is known as the greatest patriot in all of the world, and we call him...
Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live every weekday from 6 to 7 on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. And we are here. We are live. How's it going, gentlemen? Golden Ghost?
Bruh.
Golden
it's been a long
beard?
week, man. I haven't seen you guys in like forever.
I
miss
know
you.
it's been too long, my friend. It has been too long. We're glad you're on the radio station this morning. It's exciting to have you on. Did you catch that Yankees Red Sox game last night, Golden Ghost? You love starting out with baseball talk, don't you?
I meant to. I really did, but it was a long night. You know, Yankees, Red Sox. I don't care who wins. So, you know, no. Just saying,
That's
no.
good stuff, my friend. I really
Well, here-
appreciate you bringing it in hot.
Here's how it ended,
I'm
buddy.
always hot.
Here's how it ended.
Go ahead.
Comes the 1-2. Bouncing ball, going to be a tough play. Nunez gloves, throws, and time for the out. The Red Sox will celebrate, but there will be a challenge. Here comes the call. He is out, and that's it. The Boston Red Sox win the division series, and the Boston Red Sox are headed to the American League Championship Series.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
cool
so
with that.
you missed the
Now
play.
you got it
couldn't-
all summed up in one little clip there, Anthony. You didn't even have to watch anything.
You know what? I appreciate that. That's why we listen to Scout Team Live in the morning. You give us all the facts really quick. Hey, look,
Yep.
the Yankees lost. I'm happy. They're good.
right out the gate, and you got to go back and check out that clip because the catch, the throw, everything about that out was amazing. It was a stretch. Dude was practically laying on the ground when he caught that ball, trying to stay on first base, and it was a bang play. By the hair of his nose, he was safe, and it stopped a late Yankees rally. The Red Sox went up early 4-0, and then the Yankees chipped away back
Nice. Hey,
to
the
a
Yankees
4-3
lost.
win.
The Yankees lost. There's nothing else need to be said. They lost. I'm good
Yeah,
with that, man. I'm
And you
happy.
say they chipped away at it. They had a 2-run ninth inning just to get back into it, and they had runners on base. They were making this whole rally thing going on. What they really needed was a rally possum. If they were in Cleveland and they were the Browns and they had a rally possum, this would have been the Yankees game right here. That's what they're missing. They need to take some notes from what the Cleveland Browns are doing and figure out how to just make a better comeback. But Red Sox, they hang on, man. They hang on. So now we've got all the ALCS and the NLCS series set. So we've got some good baseball ahead of us starting Friday. Now, Red Sox have to go up against the Astros. So, Anthony Mack, Astros, are they your team or are you the Red Sox? Which team in this series are you going to be rooting for?
I can't root for Boston or New York, so I'm going Houston Astros, baby.
All right, Houston. That's a good choice.
Let's go Houston.
Now, on the other series, we have all kind of stood behind the Brewers, and we're going to see the Dodgers go up against the Brewers in the NLCS. I think we're going to stick with this Brewers choice. We're going all the way with the Brewers. Anthony Mack, are you jumping on the Brew crew? Or is this your crew?
Now the Brewers, they're really named after like brewing beer, right?
Yes.
No,
sir.
there was a guy named Jim Brewer who was a comedian, and the Milwaukee fan base really loves Jim Brewer, so they decided to name him the Milwaukee Brewers.
I hate you, Chris America. Let's go with the Brewers, baby.
So the Jim Brewers, they're a really hot team right now. Have you ever seen that movie Half Baked? I don't think that movie gets enough credit.
It
It's
also
one of the
had Jim
funniest
Brewer in
movies
it.
ever.
Had Jim
Yes.
Brewer in it as well.
That's one of Jim Brewer's best works. Like, so him creating the
Wait, Jim
Milwaukee
Brewer is a
Brewers
real guy?
and him being in Half Baked. Yeah,
Jim
he's a
Brewer's
real guy. Yeah, he was in
Jim
Half
Brewer's
Baked.
a really funny guy.
I never. I mean,
Listen, I know you think I'm
Dave Chappelle?
creative, Anthony Mack, but at 6 o'clock in the morning, I cannot just pull a name out of my head named Jim Brewer out of thin air. I
mean,
can't
it's
do
not,
that.
It's not that hard to make up, but
I guess, yeah.
The movie
You
would-
think of the word Jim, and it's kind of a
Brewer.
common name.
Brewer.
I mean,
So
you're
wait,
from,
so-
but Mac, you're from Wisconsin, big time Green Bay fan. I figured you would be all Milwaukee all the time. You love everything Wisconsin, right?
that's not true at all. Like, I think he just makes stuff up, bro.
But you're a huge Packers fan, right? You have to be
I'm
from
Right. So you
Wisconsin
just
to
have
be
to
a
be
big
everything
Packers fan.
Wisconsin. I thought you were from Wisconsin. I thought that's why you like the Green
I
Bay
heard you were
Packers.
like Brett
Man, I
Favre's
thought
third
you were
cousin.
From North Carolina. Who gives
It had
a crap,
nothing to
bro?
do. It had nothing to do with you just being a '90s kid jumping on that Green Bay Packer bandwagon with Brett Favre.
Dude, we told this story before. I was playing quarterback. I was told to watch Brett Favre. That's how I became a Green Bay fan. Sorry, man. Just is what it is.
Okay,
nothing
man.
else- There's nothing else I heard about it. How did you become a North Carolina Panther fan?
Well, you see, when they fired Tony Dungy from Tampa Bay, I was done with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Could never really get behind the Jaguars, or I hate everything Miami. Miami's not even really a Florida state. It's kind of like there's Orlando and there's Miami. There's a rivalry there people don't know about. And in 2007, I decided I wanted to move to Charlotte. Love the city, love the state. I've always loved going to Asheville, North Carolina. Got family in the Carolinas. I was like, you know what? I'll make the Panthers my team in 2007. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to
So
it.
you're 11 years a Panthers fan. That's
Yeah.
that's it?
Well, because when
okay.
they fired Tony Dungy, I kind of just was over NFL football for a really long time. Like, I would watch it, but I never really clung to a team. Just kind of over it. So I was just mostly college football.
How long did you live in Charlotte?
I never lived in Charlotte. I visited Charlotte.
Well, you said you wanted to live there, so you
I
never
want to
actually
live
went
there.
there.
If it wasn't if my son, if I could move there now with my son, I would.
Oh, we're
I'd
getting
be there in a
serious?
heartbeat.
All right, let's not get serious. It's too early in the morning to get serious. All right, I want to pull
All right.
your heartstrings and everything.
No, nothing about my heartstrings. But yeah, big Wisconsin fan is Anthony Mack, Golden Mike.
I'm not a big Wisconsin fan. I'm a Green Bay fan, bro. What are you talking about?
But you're standing behind the Brewers also, so you love the Packers, you love the Brewers, you love everything Wisconsin. I heard that you have a love for cheese also.
I love cheese. I do love
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, it's
And
all
you
coming-
also
cheese.
he does like
you
beer
also
too,
like
I think.
badgering. You also like badgering Miami Hurricane fans. So you're clearly a Wisconsin Badger fan. So
Yes,
it all adds up.
Oh, those dang old Miami Hurricanes.
the Golden Badger.
The Golden Badger. Whatever, man. Yeah. all
So
right,
what
let's go
happened,
with the
man? What
Brewers.
happened to your Florida State Seminoles?
Oh, man. Come on, dude. It's been like 5 days, man. Listen. All right. Listen.
Well, you haven't been on the show, but the fans need to
1
know what's
point.
going on.
1 point, man. Look, we played decent ball. I'm not mad at the way we played ball. I'm not even mad at losing to Miami because remember, a realist, they were supposed to clobber us. They were supposed to beat us to where our bye week sucked and the week after that sucked and it just spiraled our season out of control. They didn't do that. They beat us by 1 point, and a win's a win. Hey, look, congratulations, they got it. I got to wear a Miami shirt because I lost by 1 point. But whatever the case is, we exposed them. They're absolutely beatable. Like I said, Miami is nowhere near back, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a rivalry game. It's supposed to be tough." No, not that rivalry game. You guys are supposed to beat the snot out of us. You didn't. You guys got exposed more than we got exposed. Everybody knew we were going to lose. You know what I'm saying? But that's Miami, man. They're not back. I'm not worried about it.
Well,
We know
I've got
what
some
Mark Richt is
interesting
gonna do.
FSU news for you, Anthony, real quick
What-
before you
what?
continue. I got some
Yeah.
good FSU news. So
What?
this week you're going into your bye week, and then the week after you're playing Wake Forest. So we got this hurricane coming up, Hurricane
Oh,
Michael.
son of a-
So FSU has canceled practice because of Hurricane Michael. So it looks like they're already building in an excuse of why they're going to lose to Wake Forest. And it'll be the second week in a row they got beat by a hurricane.
Dude, I'm you know what, man? When I see you, I'm going to fight you.
I don't know why. That cheesy joke just felt like it was right.
That's at Loudbeard to all of our fans that want to complain.
It's all good. Hey,
That was
Miami
funny.
ain't back. How about that? I
No,
keep
they're
telling
not.
people. They're not back. Not even- They're not. Whatever, bro. Whatever, bro.
That was a Daily
Yeah, if you
Gonzalez
beat-
short.
It was funny that you said that if Miami blew you out, your season would be spiraling out of control. It's already been spiraling out of control. But
Dude,
yes,
that game
Miami
showed
should have
promise.
blown you out. Miami's
They
not
should've blown
back.
us out. We should have lost by 21 to Miami. The way
Minimum.
they've been playing.
Minimum. You should have never. Honestly, if y'all would have won 10, or if they would have won like 10-9, that to me would have been a more like, okay, Miami's back because your defense is still good. The fact they put 27 points, or that you guys put 27 points up on them, was the most shocking part of that whole thing.
With no offensive line whatsoever. That offensive line looked like the Steelers' offensive line for the first half. And then the third
Yeah.
quarter, fourth quarter, they showed back up. Like, what happened?
This is why I'm hoping
Really
Florida's
got
front
drunk.
seven. This is why I'm hoping Florida's front seven stays healthy, because you're going to need to bring at least 5 quarterbacks and put them in jerseys in that game, because that Gator defensive line is coming after
Yeah,
your boy Francois.
I know. I'm not. I mean, it is what it is. I still think we beat you, but yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough game. It's a rough season, man. It is what it is, dude. But let's not talk about the Gators. Did Cal lose a bet over the weekend? Because that's what I really want to talk about.
This is the only reason why you're here?
Just the only reason I'm here. Because, dude, that guy's a fraud. I figured it out. He's a fraud. He's
Which
he's not
one?
a fighter,
Conor
bro.
McGregor?
Yeah, he's not a fighter, bro.
If you go back and watch his early fights,
No,
the guy was
don't tell
legit.
me to run
He
the
got
tape
rich
again.
and fat and happy, man. He
Okay.
got
Yeah.
his money, he got paid, and he lost that edge, and that's all there is to it. He was a savage fighter if you look at his early fights. I mean, it's like when Tyson went up against Buster Douglas. The guy you knew was a better fighter. Not that Khabib. I think Khabib's a better fighter than McGregor, but when you look at McGregor over these past few fights, he got to the point where he just didn't care. You know, you could tell he just lost that edge. He didn't have that same competitive nature. So you can call him a fraud if you will. He did make $3 million off of that fight. So I guess that's what fraudsters do, is they make a bunch of money off of fooling people. So in that case, you may be correct, sir. And if you think that was a fraud, the Mayweather fight was really a big fraud. So the whole thing, the guy's just making money left and right. So who is the real winner here? I would say it's Conor McGregor. The big loser here is me. I'm taking the big L for this one.
You took another L, man. Stop betting on this guy, man. He's everything about him. Like I've had people watch the fight tell me, man, run the tape back. He actually won that fight. I'm like, no, nothing about that
Who
fight.
told you
screams
that?
Who told you that he won the
There's
fight against
no
Khabib?
way he had. No way.
A very biased UFC fan. He's,
Okay.
He's all over it. He's like, oh man, McGregor won. I'm like, dude,
You need to have him
About that
Baker
fight,
acted, man.
had
He
McGregor won.
He won one
round,
round,
barely.
barely.
Yes, barely.
and then he got clobbed.
And I really think it must have been because Khabib, like Dana probably went over to Khabib's corner and said, hey, man, stop. The fans are booing. You hear them. Can you at least try to stand up and fight a little bit, create some excitement? Because the fans don't want to see you smother McGregor into a submission. Do that in the 4th round. And so I think that's my conspiracy theory there. Dana said, yo, you hear the boos. Give me a little something here. Give me a little something here.
Yeah.
And then he gave him a little something after the fight.
Dude, that was. I can't. that was just savage. I don't get it, man. Like the fight's over, bro. Just get off the stage and go out, man. You won.
Yep.
Get out.
And I got sources saying that the rumor is that the fine is going to be $100,000 and a 3-month suspension for Khabib. And I think that's fair. I think that's a fair punishment.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's because honestly, he's not going to fight within 3 months anyway, probably.
Hey, but
No.
if anything, this shows you that dang, that Conor McGregor didn't wear him out at all. He still had energy to go out in the crowd and fight. Like, that's how bad Conor McGregor fought. Like, he
Well,
still had energy to go out and
let-
fight.
Your
Let's put
friend
it this-
said that he won.
Yeah. Let's put it this
Like,
way,
what are
too.
you, what
So
are you
you-
saying now?
So you can prove to your friend, let's put it this way. Conor McGregor got a 3-week medical suspension and Khabib got nothing as far as medically concerns are. So
Wow.
you can take that however you want it. When one guy comes out of the fight with a medical suspension and the other one doesn't, usually that means one guy won and one guy lost.
One guy won and one guy lost because I saw him get put in the chokehold anyway. It is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
He lost.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. Okay, let's talk about the real importance here.
Now
that's
Mac,
because McGregor's getting the rematch, right? Isn't that what he wants?
well, that's what he wants. I don't know that that's what he's going to get.
I am not watching another McGregor fight. It's just
Well,
not happening.
if you do want to see another McGregor fight, one fight that you will want to see because the last two have been extraordinarily fun to watch is Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor. And Poirier injured himself. He's not going to be able to fight. Loudbeard, did you have the date on when they were supposed to fight?
I think it was early November, so it was like November
Okay.
2nd. I don't have it exactly in front of me, but it was UFC 230, and Poirier.
Okay,
has
so it's
to
the next pay
withdraw.
per view then. Yeah, so
It is.
that kind of stinks because I was going to say let's throw McGregor in that slot, but since he has the medical suspension and you can't just go from one UFC fight to the next, we don't do that anymore, and I definitely don't see McGregor doing that. But it would have been fun to
they
see
used to do that, right? They used to fight
McGregor
week after
throw
week,
Nate Diaz
right?
in there.
Well, they said
Not
on
week
the
after
Diaz-
week, but go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, they said on the Diaz fight that they're not going to fill in for Diaz. I think they're just taking that spot, and they confirmed that Cormier is going to be fighting Derek Lewis. So that is going to fill in as that main event, as that headliner. They were wanting to do it as a
in
co-main
early
event.
November.
Yeah, I swear.
No, I thought that was supposed to be at
John.
the end of December.
I thought so too, but maybe I'm looking at the dates wrong. I'm going to have to confirm. Let me pull out the old stat
The old
machine.
stat
Twitter.
machine.
Yeah, the fact
Yeah,
checker.
you're right.
Cormier fight John Jones.
Cormier versus Lewis is the UFC 230. Then I take back what I say. McGregor, if Lewis can get out there and he took a beating during his fight, if Lewis can get out there at 230, then so can you. Fight Nate Diaz.
Who, you want me to fight Nate Diaz?
Well, you
No,
can fight Nate
McGregor.
Diaz, but I'm talking about McGregor.
Uh-huh.
Now, Diaz
I mean,
needs
you're
to
always
fight
challenging
again.
people to fight, so
Yeah.
you guys can
You
fight
are.
a catch weight because Nate Diaz is like 155. I mean, he probably walks around at 170, and you're a lean 210, right?
Lean 210. I'm a big boy. I'm like
Ooh.
240.
We could find a catch
Yeah,
weight for you
170
guys.
got down.
Yeah, catch in the middle.
Yeah, I'll get him. I got it.
Yeah, I want to see Diaz back in the ring, though, man. I feel like it's been too long since the Nate Diaz fight, and this was his comeback, and, they're going to have to push it off. But I think the fact that they're not rescheduling anybody in his place means that they may look at doing a Diaz-McGregor fight. But there's so many guys out there that want a piece of McGregor. One, because the draw is so big. I feel like that there could be a huge line of guys that they're trying to line up to make a huge event. So I don't know if they're going to want to do the Diaz-McGregor fight again. I think it's going to be somebody else. I don't know if it's going to be Ferguson or if they're going to go ahead and just go straight into Khabib-Ferguson. I don't know. A lot of excitement, though, man. We keep talking about this. We've said it day in and day out, and that's UFC is getting hot right now. And in 2019 and I guess the end of 2018, we've got some great fights that are going to be lined up, and we're excited for where it is going.
Now I got to wonder how much they paid my man Derek Lewis to take this fight, too. I mean, he said at the end of the fight, he says, I need to work on my cardio before I do a title match. And now here we are. He's going to be doing a title match a month later, if that.
Yeah, it's
So-
less than a
I-
month. That's wild.
Yeah, like-
Lewis is the guy that won, right?
Who?
Lewis is the guy that won last week, right?
Lewis, yeah, he's the one that beat. I gotta look it up again. It's Lotov or Lotov. I can't remember how you say the guy's name.
I think
Some
it's
Russian guy.
Voltov.
Yeah, I mean Donald Trump called Lewis and
Voltron.
said, "You need to beat these Russians." So
Did he really?
I think this is gonna be. Man, Cormier is gonna win this fight easily. I think.
Wait, against Lewis?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, their fighting styles. Like Lewis mentioned, he had no cardio. He needs to work on his cardio. You don't want to say that before you go into a match against an elite wrestler. It's one of the reasons why McGregor lost. He has stamina issues, and Khabib is an elite wrestler. He took him to the ground, and he wore McGregor out. You're going to watch Cormier do the same thing to Lewis.
Why do we keep calling Cormier elite when I seen him get beat down by John Jones?
Oh, I didn't say he was
that
an
was a-
elite fighter. I
That
said
was
he's
a
an elite
doped up John
wrestler.
Jones. Come on.
Yeah. That tiny little bit of steroids helped him become a better fighter. Taught him how to do swift kicks to the face.
See, the problem is, Anthony, you're looking at it as one fight that Cormier had. Everybody
Cormier
else
is
that
an elite
Cormier
fighter.
fights,
He beats.
He beats. It was just John Jones. That's his one Achilles heel. He cannot
like-
beat John Jones, but everybody else he has run through. He is a good
Yeah.
fighter.
There's
It's
a
like
big
calling-
disparity between John Jones and Cormier.
Right.
So when you call
Right.
him elite, John Jones
Well,
must be like Super Saiyan. I'm just saying.
It's like calling Aaron Rodgers elite when he can't win playoff games. You know what I mean? So it's like you got one Super Bowl. How can we call you elite compared to Tom Brady? But he is elite.
Hashtag fire McCarthy. Gotcha.
I mean, I think elite quarterbacks can overcome their coaches. No, I'm just
Hashtag
saying.
fire McCarthy.
No, I mean you can still be an elite fighter and somebody else be way better than you are. There's no doubt about that. You can be an elite athlete. Like James Harden is an elite basketball player, even though LeBron James is 30 times better.
It's a good
guess-
comparison. I can live with
yeah,
that.
that is a good comparison. All right, good deal. All right, so when are we gonna see John Bones Jones fight?
I think at the end of December.
Yeah, I think
Nothing's
he's-
been announced yet, but they're working on it.
Is it gonna
But
be
I feel like he
Cormier?
should have been put on this 230 card.
Yeah, why not?
Or at the very least, the beginning of December.
I want to see that guy fight Cormier again, since everybody's like Cormier.
And I haven't seen too much news about who he's going to fight and I guess when he's going to fight. You know it's going to happen. It's just when. I don't know.
All right,
I'd
so
like
we
to
got
see a
Lewis
little bit
and
news on that.
So we got Lewis and Cormier coming up.
Yeah, Lewis and Cormier. That's the next fight.
All right.
I don't know what's going on with Brock Lesnar. They did all that 3-ring circus between Lesnar and Cormier, and then they're like, okay, well, we're going to let him fight Lewis. I don't know if he's still suspended from his steroids or use or what's going on with him.
Isn't Lesnar like 50 years old or something? I
He's
wanna
getting
say-
there.
Yeah, I want to say
Yeah, he's older, but he's still scary.
What?
Who, Lesnar?
Yeah.
He's still scary. He's
Yeah.
a lot of these UFC guys. They can go until their late 30s and still be effective. They may not be at the prime of their game, but they're still really good fighters, and they've learned so much through their career that they've actually become better on the tactical side of how to I guess maintain their composure, how to not wear themselves down during the fight. And you see that these guys, and when they're 38 years old, still winning fights out there. So I don't think that Lesnar's a bad draw. I think he's still a good fighter. He still would be fun
Lesnar's
to watch.
41 years old at 286 pounds. That really? I don't think he's ready to fight, man.
Are you calling
I
him
mean,
out?
Cormier's 40.
Cormier is 40. No wonder he
Yeah.
got whipped by John Bone Jones. We're old men with these young guys, man. Are you serious?
Yeah, Cormier actually didn't get started. Cormier actually didn't get started in MMA until he's 31, 32.
Really? Huh. Yeah, it might be time to sit down and relax, my friend. Brock Lesnar is a little scary. Those are steroids. Those are definitely steroids. Man.
Oh, no, that guy's juicing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taking the John Jones pack.
No, Lesnar's been juicing long before Jones was even out of diapers.
Hey, Anthony, we had a hot take yesterday. I want to get your thoughts on this. So, if Conor McGregor ends up fading out and being a fraud at the UFC, do you think he'd have a good career in the WWE? You think he would make it?
I heard this at the end of the show. Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly where they're headed. Just like your girl. what's her name? The
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, yeah. Dude,
What if a
you're
Mayweather McGregor tag team in the WWE? Now that would be fun.
Dude, I think he's just a big show. I'm honest, like, dude, he's got one more chance. Like, he's gonna fight somebody here real soon. The moment he loses is the moment that WWE comes calling. Because if he loses another fight, he's done. In my opinion, he's a fraud. He's a fake. We're done with him. You're done with him. I know you're gonna bet on him again, no matter who.
Oh yeah.
But if
Easy
he loses
money.
again, he's finished, man. Like, you got to think, somebody that's that big of a profile, talks that much trash, lose 3 in a row. Yeah, you're finished, bro.
Yeah, but look who he's losing to. It was the 3 out of the last 4 fights he's lost. But one of them's a boxing match to Mayweather, who's the greatest boxer of all times in some people's minds. And then this one, Khabib is the champion, and he has been just lights out, undefeated. What is he, 27-0, Chris? I can't remember his exact record. So it's not like he's fighting Joe Schmo and losing.
It doesn't matter. He's the one challenging these guys to a fight. If I'm challenging you to a fight,
I think that's
and getting my
honorable.
butt kicked,
Pick on the biggest guy, pick on the scariest guy, right? Try to.
I mean, I'd
see what
rather
you can
see
do.
that
this guy
than
out.
I'd rather see that than see like a heavyweight like Alabama challenging Louisiana Lafayette to a fight.
That's a great example.
But he's proven that he's not Alabama, though. You know what I'm saying? He's Louisiana Lafayette. He's
Well,
the one
hey.
out there screaming, I want you, and then getting his butt whipped and like, oh, well, Like, I do agree. That interview he did one interview. He was very humble. He was like, hey, I got to work harder and everything like that. But, dude, I can't imagine him losing another fight and him recovering his persona from that. Like, I can't listen to a man that talks trash as much as he does and then goes out there and just gets his butt kicked. I'm just saying.
Well, I think it's going to be a big whatever the next fight is for him. It's going to be a big deal because he's going to need to win. Like you said, Anthony, he is going to have to win. And I think we're going to have to really just take a look at who his next matchup's going to be, because whoever he fights, I think the UFC's got to set it up where it's not like the best fighter in the UFC. I think they've got to give him a fun fight that gives him a chance to win, just to help kind of build up that brand, because he does have a 6-fight contract, and they don't want it to be 6 garbage fights. They want it to be 6 main events that they can sell a bunch of tickets and a bunch of pay-per-views, and they want to make sure that they can make money off of it. So I do think...
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, yeah, damn right it's your bad. Come on, man. You act like you haven't been on the radio every day with us.
I'm just saying. Listen,
So-
I think the complete opposite. He has to have somebody that's competitive. Like, if he takes somebody to the mat in the first 3 or 4 rounds, people are going to say it's a sham of a fight. He has to have somebody that's going to be able to fight that's competitive to him. I don't know who that is. It definitely ain't Khabib. Khabib beat the snot out of him. Don't go back to Khabib. But he has to have somebody that's up and coming, that's going to have just as much energy as him, and give him a competitive fight. Otherwise, people are going to say it's a sham, and just like we're doing right now, he's a fraud. At least I'm thinking he's a fraud.
Most UFC fans, if he comes out and knocks out, I don't know, Pettis or somebody lower, they're gonna be like, "Oh, McGregor's back! I told you he's the greatest ever. He's ready to fight."
Crazy.
It's just what we do when we deem somebody as great and we see them destroy somebody. We don't care who their opponent is. I hate to use Alabama as an example, but it's just like when Alabama scores 60 on Louisiana Lafayette, we're like, we lose our minds and say, obviously this is the best team in the country, when it's like, okay, but they didn't play anybody. How is it obvious to you? Can we wait until they at least play a team that's worth a dang? Where it's the same thing with McGregor. McGregor fans are the same way. They just want to see him win. They don't care who it's against. They'll tell you why the fighter that he fought is better than what people think they are. It's what we do. They'll come up with some weird way of explaining why Louisiana Lafayette is a better team than everybody's giving them credit for.
Here, I got a good example for you. It's like Tiger Woods right now. As soon as Tiger Woods was like within striking distance in a tournament, everybody's like, he's back. Look, he's close to win. Oh, he didn't win. But he's close to winning. He's so good. He's so good. He's coming back. And it's like Tiger Woods had like a pickup game against Tony Romo and beats Tony Romo. Everybody's like, oh my God, did you see that? That's the Tiger Woods we missed. And then you're like, no, he's not back yet. He's not back yet. That's what we're doing with McGregor right now. We want him to be back so much. Well, gentlemen, we are up against the commercial break, so I just wanted to say, on the flip side, we're going to talk a little bit about a thinker and a stinker.
Did you know 40 points on your credit score could cost you $40,000 on a mortgage? Thankfully, Lexington Law is here to help. Since 1991, Lexington Law has helped over 500,000 customers take action on their credit reports. Call 877-910-7472 to talk to a repair specialist now. Personalized credit consultation is free. Getting access to your report is free, plus free score evaluation with a recommended solution. Call now and get on the path to recovery. Call Lexington Law at 877-910-7472. That's 877-910-7472.
Oh, it's summertime. And what's that mean? We're all heading off to the golf course. But don't go too fast. Make sure you go to 12ouncesportsradio.com and book a tee time. At the bottom of any page, you'll see Book Like a Pro. Click that banner, enter your course of choice or zip code, find a tee time you like, book that tee time, and you'll get up to 50% off, courtesy of 12-Ounce Sports Radio. Book like a pro, even if you don't play like one.
Ring Central features all-in-one phone, messaging, and video conferencing. It's easy to use with unparalleled security. Ring Central simplifies things so you can grow. Call Ring Central to speak with a representative about a price for your growing business at 877-779-3860. Again, that's 877-779-3860.
Yeah, welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. We are the Scout Team. I'm Loudbeard. He's Chris America. He's Golden Ghost. We're bringing it hot on this Wednesday morning. And you are listening to us on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. And 12-Ounce Sports Radio is one of the greatest sports radio stations on all of the interweb. And they have a great lineup ahead of you today. We've got a lot of great stuff coming. We've got Clutch Talk Sports coming in at 8 a.m. At noon, we've got College Credit Hour with Memphis Spence. Again, those are affiliates of ours with Sports Radio America. Later in the day, it looks like we've got Steve in the Hood, Girls Beer Sports on at 4 o'clock, Reality Check-In, Audio Replay, live from the 815, and then tonight, the greatness known as Scout Team After Dark on at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And after our Scout Team After Dark, we've got We Talk Sports Good. What a great lineup. Don't forget, we are social. Check us out at Scout Team Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you want to catch any of the old shows, any of the old podcasts, you can always listen to them at scoutteamradio.com or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts. But with all that being said, I just want to let you guys know that I am a thinker and a stinker all at the same time. And Chris America, my favorite segment of the entire week is
the thinker or the stinker.
Yeah, here we go, buddies. I'm going to give you some hot takes on Twitter Machine, and you guys just tell me if it's a thinker or stinker. This one is particular to you, Loudbeard. In no way do I want to diminish Drew Brees' all-time record, But on that record-breaking completion, it almost looked like the Redskins were watching like the rest of us. Is that a thinker or a stinker?
I'm going to have to give that one a thinker because, yeah, that was a bad play. I mean, I do know that UCF legend Traquan Smith can light it up, and he did. That was a great touchdown by Traquan Smith, and that was a beautiful throw from Drew Brees. I think the Redskins played a little soft on that one. They looked defeated, and I'm going to have to give that one a thinker.
Yeah, thinker. They were watching. They were amazed. That I don't. Man, you get some nice lineups on Monday night, and then they turn out to be duds. You know what I'm saying? I thought that would be a better game than it was.
That usually has been what happened. And the Thursday night games have turned into must-watch TV now.
Yeah. They've learned, I guess, a little bit. Yes. Right.
All right. Well, you guys both agreed with Skip Bayless. Probably the first time you guys will ever do that.
Ooh, I changed my mind.
We take it back.
I've turned
This
it
is
back.
why I don't. This is why I don't tell you who says it, because I want to get your honest opinion on the take. All right, here we go. The Browns are America's team. Deal with it, Jerry Jones. Is that a thinker or a stinker, Anthony?
I can't believe the Browns are America's team, but you know what? I think everybody roots for the underdog. I think they are America's team. I think this is a thinker.
All right, Loudbeard.
I'm going to have to agree with Anthony Mack. It's not good radio when we're not arguing with each other, but I do have to say that the Browns are America's team. You've got the Rowley Possum, who right now is taking the hearts of all America and making this team just so watchable. You're talking 3 overtime matches this year, or games this year, and they're like the lovable losers that are starting to finally win. Baker Mayfield's got that extra special swag about him. It's must-see TV every time the Browns are on. That is America's team. I've never been to Cleveland. I haven't lived there. I wasn't born there. And I am a big Browns fan now because that is America's team.
All right. Looks like we got 2 thinkers right out the bat. That one was from McNeil, super Browns fan. All right, here's the next one. Update. OBJ is the best quarterback on the Giants roster.
All right, Mac, you take this one. I'm going to have to think about it for just a second.
Look, I'm no fan of Eli, man. He hasn't been putting up bad numbers. That was a busted game last week. The rest of the season, he's been pretty solid. They haven't been winning a lot, but he's been decent. So I'm gonna say that's a. God, man, it's not a thinker. No, it's not.
So it's a stinker.
It's a stinker.
Did you forget which one it was? Okay.
Yeah. I was
So
just getting
You forgot
caught up
which
in
word rhymed with
OBJ throwing
thinker?
the touchdown pass, bruh. Like that was. I hate to say it, but it was pretty it was pretty exciting. I'm like, holy shit, he threw the pass. But
Hey, morning radio, man.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not a New York fan. We all know that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
right.
Here we go.
Where's the
All right,
dumb
Loudbeard,
button?
you had time to think about it. We
drinking.
went around the table. Everybody ordered. What are you getting?
All right, I'd like a double French fry.
Sounds good.
And I do want to say that
Double French fry.
I'm going to have to give this one a thinker. You know why? Because I feel like Eli, it's time. It's time for them to move on from Eli. But it needs to be like an amicable breakup where, hey, Eli, let's retire. You know, like the Giants need to sit down and say, okay, this is not working out the way it needs to work out. We need to move on from you, but we don't want it to be embarrassing like the whole McAdoo situation. Maybe McAdoo was more of a genius than we gave him credit for. But Eli does not have what it takes to take this team anywhere. They're going to be a mediocre to below mediocre team with Eli, even with all the weapons that he has around him. I'm going to have to give it a thinker because, honestly, Eli, his performance is just slowly falling off, and he just doesn't have it anymore.
So
Yeah, something
listen,
OBJ
this is the
has
guy
that-
you say. Go ahead.
All right, so something that OBJ has that Eli doesn't is mobility. So at least OBJ can get outside the pocket and make a throw. Crickets?
Listen.
Nothing?
Well,
listen.
I'm going to have to agree with
The
you
guy-
on that.
the
I was
guy-
going to let Anthony give a take on it, but he's just quiet over there.
Listen. You know I'm not an OBJ fan, but listen, the guy had 224, 279, 297, 255, and 326 against Carolina. Like, those aren't bad numbers. You can't.
No, Eli's not having a bad season.
No, he's not having a bad season. Like if it was last season, McAdoo wasn't wrong when he benched him. Like you go through and look at everything, Eli deserved to be benched. I get it. He's a staple. He shouldn't have. And McAdoo was crazy, but Eli deserved to be benched. But this season, he's not playing a horrible ball. This isn't on him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say, man. I don't think he deserves to be benched or anything.
Well, I mean, nobody thinks he deserves to be benched because they don't have anybody better to turn to. It's just kind of one of those things where they should have drafted a quarterback to begin with instead of Saquon Barkley.
They should have drafted a quarterback, but right now your boy isn't putting up bad numbers. I'm just saying. I get it. You got Saquon Barkley back there who's lighting the world on fire. I like the way the guy plays. But
yeah, we'd love to see how many of those yards that Eli's getting is from Saquon.
Oh, it's probably
taking it from the backfield and taking a dump off pass 30, 40 yards.
Yeah, it's probably more than half. Like I wish I could find how many passing completions he has over 40 yards. I'm guaranteeing it's not many. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's still putting up decent numbers. The moment he picks up a 230-yard games, then he needs to get benched. But right now, he's playing decent ball.
But I don't think yardage tells the entire story. I think that yardage is just a little bit of a stat that you have to look at. I mean, for example, Blake Bortles threw over 400 yards in this past game. Would you say that was a good game?
Yes, it was a good game.
Yeah, against the Chiefs, you thought that was a good game, over 400 yards.
400 yards?
If you look at 400 yards in a
decent
vacuum, it is a decent game.
Yeah,
he also had 4
game.
interceptions,
Yeah.
and they lost big time.
Well, guess
So
what?
you can do a lot of garbage time yardage that doesn't mean anything, especially a team like the Giants that have been losing. I just think that it's not telling the whole story with Eli. I think and especially in today's day and age with like passing yardage. I mean, we're talking Mahomes is having 400-yard games like you wouldn't believe. Cousins, like these guys are all throwing huge yardage games, and Eli is like 250, 270, 260.
Hey, okay, I'll give you that. Eli's only thrown 3 interceptions the whole season.
Yeah, that's his biggest improvement is that he hasn't been throwing interceptions.
That's better. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, Eli is. I get it. Everybody wants to egg on Eli. He's the weakest link of that team, but right now he's not. He's playing decent ball, and like you said, there's nobody behind him, so you can say what you want.
So
bench Eli,
their O-line's
going to get worse.
Pretty bad too.
Right now, Eli has 1,381 yards, and a little over 700 of those yards are between Barkley and OBJ. So 50% of his production is coming from his running back and one of the best wide receivers in the league. He's at 71.7% completion percentage, and his career is 60. So that tells me he's throwing a lot of dink and dunk passes. If his career average is 60%, and this year he's at 71, now his average reception is 77.39, which isn't terrible. But again, I think it's a lot of dink and dunk passing that's keeping him from throwing interceptions. He's doing a lot of dump off passes and everything.
Absolutely, I'm not a fan of Eli. Everybody knows this. But man, there's no reason to bench him this season. Not right now. It's just not. Sorry.
All right. Yep. Next take. This one is I got one for Loudbeard on his Redskins. I'm going to give one for the Golden Ghost on his Golden Packers. The Packers are wasting away the greatest years of Aaron Rodgers' career. Thinker or stinker, Mac?
Thinker. Fire McCarthy. I'm going to say it to the rooftops. McCarthy needs to go. It's no way that we should be barely winning, barely getting into playoffs. I know everybody's like, oh, 8 of the last 9 years, you guys have been in the playoffs. Yeah, but we've been exposed every single time. We have the best quarterback in the league. There's no way we shouldn't be doing more. #fire McCarthy.
Loudbeard?
I'm going to have to give that one a thinker also. I don't think it's just McCarthy. I think the organization, they aren't aggressive enough. You have the greatest quarterback or one of the great quarterbacks in the league at this time, and you just need to be aggressive with putting weapons around him and making that team better around him. And we've constantly had that conversation about why aren't they getting running back help? They need to invest in a good running back, whether it's a high draft pick or if it's a free agent. They need to get a running game. They have not had a good running game since I can remember. And that is a problem for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, how many times have you said, oh, look at this Pro Bowl running back from the Green Bay Packers? I think Amon Green is the last guy. What was that, 15 years ago? I just don't see that they have had a investment into a running game. And on the defensive side, they have invested a ton of draft picks in guys, and a lot of them aren't panning out on the secondary. And I don't know if it's a scouting issue or if it's the GM or if it's McCarthy. But the whole organization, they need to shake it up a little bit, bring in some some fresh eyes, some fresh blood, and see if they can get some change that can help use the asset that you have in Aaron Rodgers and make it into a perennial powerhouse like the Patriots. They should be like the Patriots. They just aren't.
Year in and
So,
year
yes.
out, we should be competing with the Patriots. Absolutely.
I mean, you should be competing with the top teams of the NFC. It shouldn't just be a rotating door of NFC teams going in and out of the Super Bowl that are not named, the Green Bay Packers. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks, I feel like, have had a better run in the last 7 or 8 years than the Green Bay Packers have as far as postseason success goes.
They absolutely have. We have to find a way to constantly make it at least to the NFC Championship with Aaron Rodgers. If we can't do that, something needs to change. I'm telling you, man, fire McCarthy. I'm all on that train, dude. After last season, after the draft picks, I will say maybe he was a visionary because he saw what was happening with the quarterbacks and all these 500-yard passing games, but we ain't been able to stop anybody anyway. So, dude, we gotta get McCarthy out of there. I'm sorry, I like the guy. I think he's a fun coach, but he can't get over the hump. He just can't get over the hump, and we need somebody that's going to get Aaron Rodgers at least 2 more Super Bowls before he goes.
So not saying this is going to happen. This is not a hot take. Guys like Aaron Rodgers don't do this. But if he did, would you be upset if Aaron Rodgers in a year or two said, you guys are wasting my time, I need a trade?
Last year, I was telling you guys were crazy. Aaron Rodgers would never leave. He's Green Bay for life. But if something doesn't change, I wouldn't be mad at him. I wouldn't be mad at him, man.
Yeah.
He's the greatest quarterback in the league right now. Go somewhere and win your championship, man. Go win you 2 more. Steve Young did it in the 90s, So I don't see why Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be able to jump ship and go somewhere else. It sucks. Sucks, but I get it.
I don't get
I'm
the
with you,
Steve
man.
Young comparison, but
No,
sure.
I was kind of trying to think. I was like, where did he force himself out to? I thought
He went from a
49ers.
crappy Tampa team, and Walsh took a chance on him to put him behind Joe Montana, and then he won a Super Bowl with the Niners.
Now,
I'm just
Montana left and went to the Chiefs and had a
Yeah.
decent end to his
Yeah,
career,
Montana. My fault. I get
that
And
who
but
you're
that was
talking about?
more the Niners were ready to move on and go to Steve Young than it was Montana wanted out. But
yeah.
all right, last thinker or stinker. UFC will always be the drunk uncle. You might get him to be sober on a couple of family outings, but it shouldn't be a surprise when he isn't. Just because more eyes are on you doesn't make you less of what you are. Is that
I
a
saw
thinker
this
or
tweet.
a stinker?
I saw this.
I know,
tweet,
that's where
and
I got
that
it
was funny.
from.
I forgot who it was. I forgot who it was, but
No, it was nobody. It was at @street_justice. I have no idea who that is. He goes by the name Mr. X, which, by the way, I should change my name to Mr. X. That's a pretty cool radio name.
no, I want to change to
Mr.
Ghost
X.
Welcome to Extreme Sports. I'm Mr. X, your host. We're going to be talking UFC brawling and how it's your drunk uncle.
Oh man, it's definitely a thinker though, bro. Because he's right though. Like UFC, I mean, I don't watch a lot of it, but every time I hear about it, it's something wild. It's a circus. You know what I'm saying? It's like a step above WWE, but it's kind of the same thing to me. Like it's a show. That's why Conor McGregor can get out there and talk all kinds of trash, gets beat, and still has fans because it's a show. Oh man, he's just an entertainer. I get it. It's definitely an entertainment factor to it, but you got to go out there and actually fight too. You know what I'm saying?
You got to perform.
Which is different from WWE. So it is what it is. So
I'm
thank
gonna give this one a stinker. I'm gonna go a little opposite of you because I want to say that the UFC has done a very good job of trying to stay professional in a sport where it's very savage. It's like gladiators fighting against each other. It could easily get more out of control than it has been. I think a very small number of fighters have made it a circus, one of them being Conor McGregor. I think McGregor has created that drunk uncle
He threw a
mystique
chair-
about
He
him.
threw a chair through a bus window, bro.
It was a dolly, but yes, he did. So,
It would have been better if he did throw a chair rather than a dolly, but yeah.
and I think we've talked about how the UFC needs more glitz and glamour and better theme songs and better walk-in music, and we want it to be more of the drunk uncle. I think that's what we're asking for. We're like, let's get that drunk uncle to be drunk. And when a fight, we've seen a ton of UFC pay-per-views where everything goes as planned, the fights fall into line the way they fall into line, and you sit there and you think, wow, this was boring. Why did this happen? And you see more of those than you do of this crazy one. So this is more of I guess, just a different type of pay-per-view, and I think it all stems around Conor McGregor, and I think that's why he's got the popularity that he has, is because he's the drunk uncle, not the UFC. Conor McGregor is. So that's why I think that take is a stinker.
Hey, when you come out on Drake, when you have Drake in the locker room, you know you're gonna lose, right? Like I'm not losing to a guy who listens to Drake. I'm just saying, man. Like I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you decisively. You're gonna know that I only beat you because you listen to Drake.
What if you're a football player and you come out with Lil Wayne?
I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat the snot out of you. I'm gonna pummel you. Don't come out to Drake or Lil Wayne. Like seriously,
Mac
Like
is
OBJ?
lying.
no.
Mac
pummeling
would
everybody.
hang out with Drake all the time if he had the chance, and then he's gonna get on the radio and say, "Oh, I can't hang out with Drake," and then Drake's gonna be like, "You used to call me on the cell phone."
Listen. If I can hang out with Drake, I can hang out with Kendrick Lamar. All right, I'm just saying. I'm not hanging out with Drake, man. He's light skinned.
Wow, you can at Max Scout team with that one.
Where's the dump button? Beep!
Seriously.
Censored.
I'm just saying,
Come on.
Look. I'm dark skinned. He's light skinned. You know, we
right.
don't match. It's just-
Golden Ghost does not care about light-skinned black people.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, like he's not.
Was that Kanye West? Kanye just jumped on our show. What is that all about?
Wait, Kanye. That's a
Or
nice
is it
Make
Ye
America
now?
Great Again hat
Is
you're
it
wearing
just
there,
Ye now?
Mac.
It's just Ye?
Yeah,
Yay.
he's just idiot.
Yay.
now, but it's fine.
Is that because like nobody cheers him on anymore and he wants to hear people say yay when he comes out?
I guess.
Oh,
maybe?
can you hit me with the laugh?
Come on, he's slow.
No, I can't.
Oh, Loudbeard. There we go. Got to be ready for my cheesy jokes, Loudbeard.
He's not ready.
There you go. You get two laughs in the same
Yes.
cheesy joke.
I'm just saying, man. He's light skinned. But dude, seriously, he got whipped. Don't listen to Drake before a fight. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Sounds like a plan. Well, what you can listen to before a fight is Scout Team After Dark tonight, 7:30, 6:30 Central on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. I finally get to play the Derek Lewis interview after the post-fight interview for you guys. We're not able to do it in the morning show because, like I said, it is not safe for morning radio.
Got it.
I'm looking forward to it. I actually didn't watch it live because
I
I came
haven't
into the
listened to
fight a little bit late, so I've been holding back because I want to hear it, and then I can give a valid,
Visceral
on-the-spot
reaction.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have not
Yes.
listened to it. It's all over the feed or whatever, but I have not listened to it. So I guess
Good. I'm glad I'm going to get both of yours like organic reactions to this. I'm pumping it up so much that you guys are probably going to think it's not as good as I'm saying it is. But
Yeah, we're gonna be like,
I
that
thought it was great. It was
Yeah.
that was what you want. Yeah,
it
was
was
okay.
the interview of the year. I'll tell you that.
Really.
Yep.
Oh yeah, pump it up
Post-fight
even
interview.
more.
Pump it up even more. Just like this Scout Team After Dark is going to be the Scout Team After Dark of the year. Calling it right now. Calling my shot. Babe Ruth pointing out the home run.
In October, that's what you're doing. Like this is
October,
gonna be our
yeah.
Best show.
We're going to premature.
They call him Mr.
January?
October.
Mr. October.
Not like our Valentine's episode. I'm just saying. Our Valentine's episode is pretty good.
Our Valentine's episode was pretty hot.
Loving you. It's easy 'cause you're beautiful. I'm just saying it was, right?
Wow.
Also on tonight's show, Anthony Mack will be breaking down the first week or two of NHL hockey. He's going to give a team-by-team report.
Hockey. They have sticks and they hit a puck.
And they fight.
They fight.
Fight. The fighting's
Do
the
they
best
get
part.
I want to say they're drunk all the time. I really do.
It
maybe they're not.
wouldn't surprise me if they're taking keg stands of Molson in the locker room in between periods.
Stands of Molson. So
I expect
biased.
at least Moosehead.
They could drink Bud Light.
No Canadians drinking Bud Light. None.
Not
No.
only Canadians play hockey, though.
It's like 90% of the league's Canadian. The other 8% is Russian, and then there's 2% of Americans. That's
Hey,
probably
you still got
way
the
off,
black
but
guys,
you
though.
know, 75% of all statistics are made up anyway. So,
Sounds right to me.
It sounded right. So I guess so.
all right,
Canadian,
we out.
Peace.
Yeah, man, it's 6:55.
Patch the Molson.
Pass it.
That ghost, he haunted our show today, that golden ghost.
Although I do think Golden Ghost says he loves Bud Light. Favorite beer.
Don't lie.
Bud Light lover.